Hi, welcome to A Punk with Toys. My name is Lawrence. I don't know why I screamed like that at the beginning. It probably scared the crap out of a bunch of people. But today we're going to take a look at something a little bit different. Something I normally don't do, but I do on the channel. And that is a Marvel Legends Spider-Man. The Scarlet Spider. The Spider clone. Ben Reilly. It goes by a whole bunch of names. And here it is. And I remember when this comic came out, I remember just thinking the Spider-Man suit looked awesome. I don't know. Maybe I was a Bill Belichick fan before Bill Belichick was the head coach of the New England Patriots, because look at it. That is basically Bill Belichick in his hoodie, cut off sleeves, and different things like that. But anyway, I'm rambling on. We're going to take a look at this. Look at the articulation. It shouldn't take that long to get through. It has 2 articulation. That's what I can tell you. But I just really like this figure. It just pops. But I figure, hey, you know what? Let's look at it. I know this is the harder one to get. You guys have probably been seeing it float around in different videos. But here we go. Spider-Man. It is on the nice hard cardboard, paperback, whatever you want to call it, retro version. Comes with a bunch of hands, and I believe that is about it. Again, that has been a huge complaint. I mostly do G.I. Joe Classified. They come with a plethora of weapons and accessories. Let's be honest, every Spider-Man should come with some slinging webs. Let's be honest, they all have them. So someone like me doesn't have any. So what am I supposed to do? Well, I just screw around with some stuff. Anyway, there you go. That's how it looks. On the back of it, I know I've showed this. I'm going to keep showing you the front of it here. But it shows you how to take off the hands. Again, this is for kids. So anyway, let's get into this. But before we do, if you like this type of content, if you're new here because you're like, who is this guy doing Marvel Legends? Maybe you're like, hey, I also like G.I. Joe. Well, guess what? I got a lot of that. So take a second, hit that like button, hit that bell notification, and hit that subscribe button, and you'll be notified every time I drop some sort of toy review video, and when I go live on Monday nights. Now let's get into this. All right, so I got them out of the plastic bubble, and amazingly, you get it? Amazingly, yes, I will be here all week. I don't have any Spider-Man figures, not even the classic, but there was something about this one that just kind of stuck out, and I really did want it. And Sergeant Reds had it, so I did pick it up. Now, if you're new to the channel, let me explain a couple things. I start from the base, so you can see exactly what it's like when you open up the figure. If he has to be heated up, how the accessories are. Am I going to have an issue taking his hands off? What he comes with. Can we stand them? Is it easy enough? That's what you're really looking at. There are other reviewers that do a wonderful job, but they're already broken in, moved around, and, well, you know how that goes. So anyway, let's take a look at this. And first, we'll just take a look at this sculpt. And you have a really nice smooth head. That's what she said. With the eyes painted up on it. And it doesn't seem like there's anything that is embroidered. So I'm assuming they probably used the same head sculpt on other Spider-Men. You have a nice... It's not super pliable, but I guess it does move around. Hopefully it won't affect the ab crunch too much. But you got the spider on the side. You have the spider emblem on it. It's creased, so it does look like it's moved. It is cut half, so it won't, well, it shouldn't affect the ab crunch that much. The shoelaces, or the tie strings, are movable, so you can kind of move that around. You have a hood that kind of moves. I really wish they would take the Jada Street Fighter approach. The Jada and all of Marvel use a much thinner, pliable overlay. It makes it so you can move the figures so much easier. We have some nice little bracelets. Look very similar to what Black Widow had. I bet they might even be the same. He does have smaller wrists, but hers are probably way smaller than that. He's got a little bat belt with, I'm going to assume, little tubes for web shooting, possibly. I don't know. You guys tell me. And then he's got little pouches around his ankles. Again, I think it looks pretty cool. there are no lines. Ooh, he has got one hell of a tricep there. No lines, no spider webs, anything like that. So you don't really need that much. This is a base figure, base red plastic that it is molded in. You have, wow. Honestly, you have paint here, and then you have the overlay of Bill Belichick's sweater, or sweatshirt, shall I say, cut off sleeves with the paint on there. And that's all you get, other than this stuff. So anyway, let's take a look at the articulation. And his head can look up so far, can look down and side to side. You have his T-pose right there. Bicep swivel, double pinless elbows. And he does seem kind of soft, but not in an awful way. You get your wrist at swivel. You have the ab crunch, which doesn't seem to be affected by Bill Belichick's sweatshirt, his hoodie, and that's how far he can look back. He can move it side to side at the waist, and I do like the fact, man, it is, wow, so it's way up here, and I like the fact that it's hidden. So that is awesome. It's going to give you a lot of mobility, that is for sure. There's this Jean-Claude Van Damme. Now, I'm not a big fan of drop-down hips. Oh, he does have drop-down. Wow, they do have drop. He has drop-down hips, but now this guy really should have a perfect Jean-Claude Van Damme. So, kind of a strike, in my opinion, there. I think you'll still be able to get enough poses. Your thigh cut, double pinless knees, your boot cut, which is kind of weird because it will see a weird articulation when you have a boot like on a G.I. Joe. You obviously don't get that. And then you have your ankle pivot and your toe articulation. So that's going to be good when you want to get them in crouching positions. I know Black Widow is on the super articulated buck. I believe he is supposed to also be on some sort of super articulated buck where you can get amazing poses. So now let's just pop off the hands. We can pop these off. And this is just like the Black Widow. It might be a different size, like I said. She's a smaller figure. But it's pretty much the exact same idea that they use. We'll leave this on for right now. And then we're going to throw on this. And you can see how easily these hands come off. So I don't have any issues. I feel like Hasbro's gotten way better when it comes to this. Here's your thwap hands. Thwap wrist. And unfortunately, I have no webs. I have no webs to shoot. That's unfortunate. So, how well does he pose? Well, I can tell you, I just stood him that easily, and he's standing on one toe right there, which is good. Better than I can say, unfortunately, for this Savage Crucible. My only complaint when it comes to the ankle. But it looks like I can get this guy into some pretty good poses right away. And then again, I like to show what you can do without spending a whole bunch of time, because we do that afterwards, right? So there he is, kind of kneeling down. He's on one toe. I wonder if we can get him to stand up on the toes. Well, that would pose him like that. Can we get him to walk like just walk on his toes, like he's a ballerina? Or wearing high heels. And this is something I feel like Deadpool should have. Create a little bit of a toe articulation with Deadpool. Look at that. He stands up on his toes. Again, if you hit it, he's going to fall, but that is to be expected. So this guy can stand pretty well. Now it's getting him in some other poses, but you guys don't really want to watch that. But hey, this is a great looking figure. I love it. I love the basic design of this figure. We can pop off the different hands. Obviously the wall crawling, and we'll have to do a little bit of a few shots with him crawling up a wall, and I have a few ideas right away. So here he is. Just, I don't really have an issue standing him. So again, he does have pegs, but I'm not a fan of using stands if they don't need to be used, and usually they don't need to be. And I don't think this guy's going to be a problem. So, especially considering I'm trying to stand him on his toes. Anyway, I don't know why I'm rambling on anymore. Oh, that's right, because that is what I do. So let's wrap this up as I sit here and I mess around a little more. Okay, so my final first thought on this figure is I really like it. I love the articulation in it. I love the smooth, clean lines, the simple paint that's with it. Now, I understand the price does bother some people. That is the Marvel Legends and Disney price hike that you're going to get. Hasbro's never going to get away from that. But looking at this figure here, he doesn't come with any webs, which is very disappointing. Just 3 sets of hands, but you can get him in some amazing poses. He articulates awesome. You can pose him. You can get him on 1 foot if you're possible. Not really that easy on this Lazy Susan, but as you can see, here he is upside down, and I really didn't have too much of an issue with that. But I like this figure. Check it out. If you think you like the Spider-Man, he is well worth the pickup. I say go out, get him, and enjoy your action figures. That's all I can say to that. Alright, so there you go. That is my Scarlet Spider review. There's only so much that I can really show. I'm used to doing not Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe Classified, or maybe when I did Valiverse, Mythic Legions, stuff that has a lot more sculpt to look at, much more I don't say articulation, but accessories and different things like that. So these things go by pretty quickly. I just think this is an amazing looking figure. It's very basic, and sometimes less is more. Remember that, some of you, when you're talking about what you want. Less sometimes is more. You get a nice feel, a wonderful design. And again, I can't wait to kind of play around with this a little bit more, get some action shots and see what it does. So I'm going to get out of here. Before we leave, please take a second. If you're on Facebook, Punks with Toys, because once you join, you're a punk with toys. But I do have to clarify, there are 3 questions you have to answer, and if you don't answer them, we're not accepting you. It's real simple. It's weeding out trolls and bots. Instagram, a Punk with Toys. There's 2 of them. Subscribe to both. Follow both. I put out 2 different contents, and one is a backup just in case some idiot tries to put copyright strikes against me. Finally, if you've made it this long and you haven't yet, please take a second, hit that like button, hit that bell notification, hit that subscribe button, and you'll be notified every time I drop a figure like this. And again, I know this review is different than a lot of that you've seen. If you're new to the channel, you're a Marvel Legends guy, and you're like, hey, what the hell is this guy talking about? I just like to review action figures. All right? I don't always know the backstory of them. I like to review action figures. That's what I'm going to give you my honest opinion. It's different than others. So I'm going to get out of here. Before we do, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to leave the X-Men 97 Bishop. And here's a playlist of all the Marvel Legends figures that I've done, including a HasLab. Take care.